cool. I thought this sweater would very correctly portray the state that we are in right now. The circumstances. I am currently jobless until things blow over. We're not going to talk about that though. We're going to talk about how to take commissions as an artist, because I told you guys I'd make a video about this, and here I am making a video about it. So I don't really have much to say. We're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to move to the side like last time. You didn't want to be in here. What? Okay, now you gotta be quiet because I'm recording, okay? Sorry guys, my coworker just showed up, so it's okay, but I love you. I love you. Don't tell HR. So due to how long this video might be, there will be timestamps in the description and in the pinned comment down below. I will be chapters, text, like last time, if that's okay. So let's just get right into that. So you want to take commissions. The first thing you need to know is what you are going to offer. Like, okay, so some people like to offer sketch commissions, line art commissions, flat color, and shading. I'm pretty sure those are the four. I don't do those types. I call those progress types. I don't know if there's a name. I don't do those four just because. But if that's something that you are thinking of offering, I should probably move over. Consider that. There are also like anatomy progress types. Like I said, I don't know if these have names, but this is what I'm calling it. This is what I do. This is the program, or this is what I follow. So you can do like headshot commissions, bust, half body, and full body. And that's how I do my commissions. It's just the easiest for me. And there are also different art style commissions. So you can do like your normal art style, furry, if that's like something that you also draw, that could be like priced differently, or a chibi. Those are the only three I can think of right now. But yeah, so think of what you're offering, and also think about what you're not offering. So have boundaries. It's totally fine to have boundaries. You should have boundaries, just because people will be asking you to draw things that you're not going to want to draw. And you know, if you have those out there in the open, you'll, you know, avoid the awkward, like, I don't actually want to draw that. So boundaries, some common boundaries, I have them written down. Some people don't like to draw furries. Some people don't like to draw, I call it mecha. I think people call it mecha, but you know, like robots, stuff like that. Not safe for work stuff, blood, gore, fetishy stuff. So if any of those things are commissions that you don't want to be handling, make sure you know that ahead of time. Also, you guys should be writing this down. Okay, so now that you know what you are offering and what you're not offering, it's time to think about the pricing, which is honestly the toughest part about creating commissions, or you know, figuring out your commissions. Nobody really knows what to price their stuff. I have some tips, but it's all up to you in the end. I recommend you charge at least the minimum wage. So how you do that is you draw something and you time yourself, and however many hours that takes, you times it by the minimum wage in your area. So I recommend, like, if you're gonna offer full body, half body, and chibi, time yourself drawing one of each and figure out the pricing from that. If you're doing traditional commissions, which I don't have a lot of experience in, so you might want to look for another video after this, charge them for the materials that you're using, or the materials that you have to buy, any of the tools, canvases, paints, markers, whatever you're using. Maybe even freaking, what's that thing called, where you mold stuff, clay. If you're doing that stuff, charge them for that. If you're shipping it to them, which I'm assuming you are, charge them for shipping as well. Make sure you tell them all of this ahead of time, by the way, before you take them commission, before you take the payment. Tell them, I have to charge for this, is what I have to buy, this is the shipping, I'm adding that onto your total, this is what it's going to be. Don't just bring it on them. Another thing to think about when it comes to pricing is additional fees. So let's say it is $50 for a half body commission, but what if somebody else, what if somebody wants to add another character and it's like a 2-character commission? Is it still gonna be $50? You could, but I recommend you don't do that, because it's double the work and you're getting paid the same amount. What I recommend is, I charge for an additional character, I charge at least 75% of the normal price. So I can't do math in my head. I'm hungies. Okay, so if one character half body is $50 and they wanted an additional character, then that character would be an additional $37 at least. I'd probably round up to like $38 or maybe even $40. Just give them like a couple dollars off, kind of like as a deal. Being like, if you want an additional character, it's only an additional $40 compared to the $50. So yeah, at least, well, not at least 75%, I keep saying that. Some people only charge 50% of the normal price, so an additional character would be only $25. It's all up to you. Just think about how much extra work you're putting onto yourself, and if it's worth $25, then it's worth $25. In my opinion, it's worth more than 50%, but up to you. Another additional fee that you have to think about are backgrounds. Some people want really complex backgrounds. Think about whether or not you're going to offer complex backgrounds. Most people don't, but if you do offer that, think about the pricing, how much it's going to be. I do like transparent backgrounds and like solid color backgrounds for free, and if you want something more detailed, it's like, I don't even remember my pricing, it might be like an additional $10 for a little more complex. It's been a long time for me, I don't know. A lot of people don't actually commission backgrounds, but you never know. So in case you do get somebody who wants that, know the information ahead of time. Props as well. So if they want you to draw somebody with a sword and shield and you're not good at drawing those and you know that's going to take you a long time, think about if it's an extra charge. Pets is a huge one. People always want to commission you. People always want to commission a picture of them with their dog, their cat, their bird, whatever. I do recommend having an additional fee for that, especially if you're like me and you don't know how to draw animals at all. Can't draw animals for the life of me. So yeah, I recommend having an additional fee for a pet. Jesus, there's like a lot of things that you can have additional fees for. But yeah, I recommend you have all of this information in your mind before you start commissions, because you're gonna need to know all of this. And this is a lot of artists who start doing commissions always start by undercharging, which can be very harmful for themselves and for other artists. I know it's really tempting if you don't, especially if this is your first time, you don't have a lot of confidence, you probably don't think your art is worth that much. But undercharging, like I said, can negatively affect the art community. Those people that you are undercharging will see your art as worth whatever amount you give them. So if it's really, you know, a low price, they might assume your art isn't good quality. They're not gonna have a good experience. It makes your art and yourself look bad, and they might also, you know, for some people who are looking for people who are undercharging, will see other artists as overcharging when they're not, and they're gonna compare, you know, your prices, their prices to your prices. You're gonna say, you know, this person can do this for like way cheaper, why are you charging this much? So yeah, undercharging can just have a lot of negative effects on the art community. So yeah, I completely understand wanting to undercharge your stuff, but I recommend not doing it. What I do recommend is, if you know you're so nervous about your art not being worth it or not getting any commissions, do the minimum wage. Just do that as the minimum, and then, you know, once you start getting more sales, start bumping up your prices, and eventually you will get to the price that it's supposed to be at. But yeah, just, you know, $5 commissions should not be a thing. Nothing, you know, no art is just worth $5. That's like, that's so cheap. I don't know, but I've been there. I'm not judging you because I've been there, I've done that. But I wish I had the knowledge that I did now. Anyways, moving on. You have what you're offering, what you're not offering, and your pricing down. You have it all written down because I know you guys are smart and you guys are pretending this is some kind of class. That's cool. You have it all written down. It's time to make a commission sheet, which is the most fun of all things, I guess. Not really, I don't like doing it. It's just a really easy place to put, you know, your visual examples, which you should always have for your commissions, and your pricing down all in one, you know, file, I guess. And it'll just make it really easy for people to find all of your information. I recommend having the visual examples, the pricing, your boundaries, maybe if there's enough space. But I for sure recommend you have your preferred method of contact, which we'll talk about soon. But having that all in one place just makes it super easy for people to find your commission information. It'll make it easy for you to share your commission information. You can just tweet that, post that on Tumblr, Instagram. Super easy to put all your stuff out there. Pin that onto your Twitter thing. I don't know, but yeah, just easy to link people to your commission information. And like I said, make sure you have your preferred method of contact, which is what we are talking about next. Method of contact. You want to make sure it's really easy for you to find all of your commissions. So I recommend, what I do is I have an email specifically for people to reach out to me for commissions, so that when I do accept commissions, it's all in that one email. I just got to type up their name, it's there. If you prefer, direct messages on Twitter or Instagram or Tumblr or whatever, you can do that as well. But I recommend just make sure it's a method where it's just easy for you to go back to it, find whoever you're talking to, contact them, send them their, final product. Yeah. When it does come to contact with your commissioner, I guess, always try to keep in contact. That doesn't make sense. Don't leave them hanging for too long. So if you take a commission on Monday, try to give them some updates, send them like a few WIPs, whips, I just call them whips, work in progresses, send them the sketch, the line art if you want, the flat colors, keep them updated. Don't just kind of blow them off and then not talk to them for 2 weeks. It depends. Some people will take a long time to finish commissions, and that's totally fine. I just do recommend that you keep them updated. Even if you can't work on it, say, hi, I'm sorry, I know I took your commission, but school has been a lot, I had a lot of homework or something, but I'll be able to start working on it again this Saturday or something like that, If you don't keep in contact, they might assume that you kind of just took their money and ran off. We'll talk about payments next. But yeah, recommend keeping in contact. It's just professional, and it'll establish trust between you guys. Okay, so payment. I wasn't really sure where to put this on the chapter. I wasn't sure if I should do it before or after communication, but we're doing it now. So payment is figure out when you want to take the payment and how much. So you already got the pricing, but when do you take the money? I don't know. So what I used to do, I don't do this anymore, but what I used to do is I used to require 50% of the payment before I even started on the commission, and then I would send them the sketch and then make sure they approve it. And then before, once they approve everything, I'm like, okay, before I actually start finishing the commission, I want the last 50%. And then once they sent that, I would work on the actual, the final product, send it to them. It was good. That's what I used to do. Now I require the full payment up front. But, everybody is different. You can do your own thing. I do recommend that you take at least 50% of the payment up front. Just because if you end up sending them the sketch and then you're like, okay, can I get the payment now? They could just keep the sketch and not actually commission you, and they end up with a free sketch. Some of you guys are, if that's something that you're not really too worried about, or you don't care, maybe you don't put too much work into your sketch, and that's fine with you, fine, go ahead, whatever. But if you're someone who puts a lot of work into your sketch and you really don't want to reward them with a free sketch, yeah, take at least, well, not at least, but take 50% of the commission. Some people do like to not take the payment at all until the finished product is out. Again, I recommend you do not do that. Some people, there's people who will take advantage of that, and they will get a free product and no payment. Don't do that. Don't allow that to happen to yourself. It's dangerous out there for some artists. So yeah. Where to take payments? I use PayPal. It's the most common site that people use for payments for commissions. I tried getting some more information, but most people that I spoke to said PayPal as well. Some people said Venmo, and then I think somebody said Coffee, but no, PayPal is what I use. Do your research on what sites to use for payments. Some sites will give you more protection against scammers. Another thing that will keep you, wow, cool. Another thing that will keep you a little safer from scammers is having a written out terms and conditions. So that sounds scary, but I have one because some people will like to commission you and then after they get the final product, they're like, just kidding, I don't like it, or, you know, this wasn't done the way I wanted to, or blah, 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 I want a refund. You already put all that work into it. There's no acceptable way to give a refund. Have a terms and conditions, which I will, maybe I'll make a video on that too, that states about your refund policy, what you're not drawing, what you're drawing, just all of your rules and your rights as the artist should be in a written form. And then once they agree to that form, that's when you can start on the commission. That just kind of got off topic a little bit, but you definitely have a terms and conditions. I have to make a video on how to make one of those, but I do have one myself that I could link down in the description so you guys can see what I have in mind and then kind of base yours off of that. Okay, well, those are pretty much the main chapters of this whole commission video. I have one final chapter, which is like personal tips for me and from my experiences. I should have mentioned that I've been doing commissions for like 10 years now, but I've been doing commissions for 10 years now, so I've learned quite a few things. I'm not constantly taking commissions, so I don't have like tons and tons and tons of experience, but I've had a pretty good amount of experience. So my personal tips, Leslie's tips somewhere up here somewhere. So like I said, terms and conditions, please, if you can, create one for yourself. It will, you know, protect you from scammers. It's good when if people try to get refunds and, you know, PayPal or whatever site needs proof that they agreed to whatever you agreed to. Show them that. Be like, you're not allowed to commission me unless you agree to this. This is what I sent them. That's why I said keep all of your communications in one, you know, email or, you know, DMs or whatever, because save all of that. If anything happens, screenshot all of, you know, them agreeing to everything, them agreeing to the terms and conditions, send it to them. I can't always guarantee that, you know, PayPal or whatever site you're using is gonna favor your side, but it doesn't hurt to have that proof. Moving on from the scary stuff and going to the less scary stuff. So the final product, how do you send it to them? So I recommend sending them the final product through email, just because it will not, you know, compress the picture through email. However, I'm sure there are other sites that you can upload the pictures to and it won't get messed up. I also recommend having two copies, two versions of the final product, one with whatever background you agree to and one with a transparent background. I don't know why I do this, but oh, I remember why I do this actually, now that I think about it. So a lot of people do like to commission me for pictures or portraits of themselves to use as their YouTube banner, Twitter banner, icon, or whatever. And while I don't actually do like specific Twitter banner commissions, I will draw the... Can you not move the camera? I will draw them, give them to them in a transparent, you know, picture, transparent file, and then they can paste that onto whatever background they want for their Twitter banner, stuff like that. So that's why I usually send them the transparent thing, and I just kind of made that a habit. But yeah, that's not a bad habit to have. Like my most important tip, do not overwhelm yourself. It is so easy to just take on way too many commissions and you just don't know where to start, and there's just like so many people waiting for you and asking for you to, when is my commission gonna be done? Here's what I recommend. So you have a certain number of commission slots open, so maybe only take 5 commissions at a time, close them off, finish those 5, open them again, continue doing that. That will make it a lot easier for you to not overwhelm yourself. What I do is I accept a ton of commissions all at once, but I don't take all the payments up front just yet. I only take the payment once I'm ready to start on their commission. So I'll take, let's say I take 10, I'll email 2 of them. I'll email 2 of them and say, okay, I'm ready to start on your commission. I'll start on it once I receive the payment. They send the payment, I'll finish those 2. Once those 2 are finished, I talk to the next 2. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I do that just because if I accept 10 and one of them is, you know, being a little more impatient and they're like, where is my commission? I can tell them, oh, you haven't sent the payment yet because I'm not ready to like work on it yet. I have this many people in front of you. But once I accept the payment, that means that I'm putting you first. I'm working on yours. So if I haven't received the payment, people can't argue about like, you took my money and you never gave me anything, because I didn't take their money. I feel like that's just a long way of saying what I do. Look at this little mop I found, a little dirty mop. Oh my god, he's bitey. What are you biting for? Well, that is pretty much the end of that video. I hope this was at least a little bit helpful. Can you not do that, please? If you have any questions on commissions that I just did not answer in this video, please feel free to have them. Leave them in the comments down below. I will be answering them. Maybe I'll make a video answering some more commission questions. But I did try to go over everything that I could think of. So yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking to start commissions. I completely understand. But once you get out there and you start doing it, it's going to be super fun. It's a great way to make some spare change, or if you don't have a job, your income. But yeah, have fun and protect yourself. That sounds so scary. That sounds so scary when I say it like that. But just have fun doing commissions. Okay, be good outlets for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Say bye! Bye, my little outlets. I'm an outlet too, even though I'm a dog, huh? I'm puppish. He does not care. You're on YouTube. Care. I love you so much. Imagine if I wasn't recording any of that. I'd cry.